I remember being at my auntie house and she was telling me she didn't think I should go to the party or whatever. And whole time at the party, I'm hearing that voice like, I don't think you should go. So a fight breaks out. My homeboy, he fights this guy. The guy takes off running. And we didn't know that his guys was on the other side of the hill. They start shooting toward our direction. And then some guys that I was with had a gun as well. So they was shooting back towards their direction. But me, being the one that's kind of facilitating everybody, telling them to get down, because I was with my younger brother as well. So I'm telling him to get down, not thinking, these guys are really shooting, aiming to kill someone. I start seeing sparks on the ground. I start hearing whistles go by my ears. But before I can even think to get down, I fall to the ground. Not knowing I was shot, my legs just stopped working. And it was pitch black dark. And I started feeling, I see blood everywhere. And I'm like, man, this is real. I just got shot.
I was honored to have the opportunity to attend a symposium that you all put on recently. And DeMarco, I never knew about your story of being a victim of gun violence. But as we talked about off air, I think that has a lot, no, excuse me. I know that has a lot of power. You're an influential young man, and I just want to give you the space now to share your story for those who may not have been in the symposium or those who may not have heard your story. So with that said, the mic is yours.
So, man, growing up in Talladega, we really didn't have many role models. We had people that we didn't want to be like. We had people that was on drugs and things of that nature, selling drugs, whatever it may be. Those were the people, that an individual like myself didn't want to be like. But you also had those individuals, that said, they have the money flash and they have the cars, they have the girls. I want to be like that, but I was always different. And I know for me, being different in Talladega, it attracted a lot of attention, especially with my guys, the group that I hung around. We found ourselves in a lot of beef, just because we were different. We did stand out, and we start, taking that shine away from those individuals that were getting it. So eventually, we got in fights, but it wasn't like it is today. We'll fight, we'll become friends, we'll be laughing after the fight. But I got to a point in my life where I no longer wanted to fight. I just wanted to, strive to reach my goals and things of that nature. And I ended up getting on probation around my senior year. I actually took a charge for someone, me and my friend. And, I will never do that again. I just want to put that on. I would never do that again. But, probation really changed my life. And to this day, my probation officer at the time is still my mentor. His name is Cedric Wilson. And, just being on probation for 12 months, I got a chance to talk to an individual that actually believed in me as a young man. I had my mom.
How old were you at the time?
I was around, 18,
Oh, wow.
17 years old.
Okay.
So that was my first time seeing a man, dress up every day. Every time I'm going to see him, he got on his polo, his slacks, his shoes. I never saw that. What I saw, my perspective of a man was, he had his pants down, big shirts, chains, things of that nature. That was my perspective of a man. But when I encountered him, it was just something different. One, he believed in me, and two, he pushed me to a greater, heights in my life. And I just remember, man, one day he came to the school and he was testing me. He gave me a drug test that day. And literally, my friend didn't stop smoking, but I did at the time. And he brought an officer in there and they tested me or whatever. And I came back clean. And he told me, if you would have been dirty, I probably would have sent you down the road to Coosa Valley Youth Service or whatever. And I think that decision really put me on the road to go to college and really changed my life for the better. And because, I was maybe 5 minutes away from getting sent down the road. And I never been sent off. I've been arrested, but never been sent off to a facility where I had to spend amount of time at. So ended up getting off probation. I was so glad. Ended up going to Stillman College, man. Went to Stillman College, did a great job there. And then I came back home my sophomore year around Memorial Day, and some of my friends was still on the type of time in which they was on fighting, things of that nature. So I came back. I remember being at my auntie house, and she was telling me she didn't think I should go to the party or whatever. I'm gonna be good, auntie. Like, I'm straight. And whole time at the party, I'm hearing that voice like, I don't think you should go, things of that nature. So a fight breaks out. My homeboy, he fights this guy. The guy takes off running, and we didn't know that his guys was on the other side of the hill. And everybody intoxicated, and they start shooting toward our direction. And then some guys that I was with had a gun as well, so they was shooting back towards their direction. But me, being the one that's kind of facilitating everybody, telling them to get down, because I was with my younger brother as well. So I'm telling him to get down, not thinking, these guys are really shooting, aiming to kill someone. And I start seeing sparks on the ground. I start hearing whistles go by my ear. So I'm like, yo, these people are really aiming to shoot. But before I can even think to get down, I fall to the ground. Not knowing I was shot, my legs just stopped working. And it was pitch black dark. And I start feeling, I see blood everywhere. And I'm like, man, this is real. I just got shot. And, when I get to the hospital, man, it was like the lady come in, she tells me, there's a main artery in our thigh called the femoral. And she was like, that bullet was like inches away from hitting that main artery in your thigh. And because it took you so long to get to the hospital, you could have, lost your life just from bleeding out from a leg wound. And that opened my eyes, man. It really made me passionate about what I do, because, I made it out. But, I think about the individuals that didn't, that's still walking around either paralyzed or, no longer a positive aspect to society. And I get to do that today, man. So I'm really grateful to tell my story, not to only just the podcast, but to the young people that's out there, living that lifestyle that, I wasn't never a bad kid. Never a bad kid. I just hung around individuals that kind of, influenced me in ways. But, like I said earlier, no one wakes up and want to be shot. No one wakes up and want to do the shooting. A lot of times it's the people that we hang around that get us in stuff that we can't get out. So I'm just grateful I can still tell my story, and I'm not 6 feet deep, man, because there was some deep stuff. Just watching my mom cry, watching my brother cry, while they sit and watch me in this bed, and just to think, my life could have been gone at a blink of an eye.